Your first paying client after a layoff is already sitting in your phone right now. Not on a job board, not buried under 100 applications, in the contacts and old messages you already have. I know that sounds too simple, so let me prove it to you. You are not going to apply for anything this week. No portals, no cover letters vanishing into the void, no waiting by an inbox. Instead, over the next 7 days, you are going to have a handful of ordinary conversations with people who already trust you, because they watched you be good at your job for years. One of those conversations is going to turn into paid work. That quiet voice telling you that at 40, you are too old, too expensive, and out of real skills is wrong, and the people in your phone are about to prove it. Let me walk you through exactly how, message by message. Let's start with the thing nobody tells you when you get laid off. Most freelance work does not come from strangers. It comes from people who already know you are competent, because they watched you be competent for years. Think about it from the other side. If someone needed a thing done, and they could either gamble on a random name from a website or call a person they've worked beside, who do you think they pick? They pick the person they trust every single time. That person can be you. The reason cold applications feel so awful is that you are starting from zero trust and trying to build it in one page. Your network is the opposite. The trust is already there, sitting in the bank, earning nothing. All you're doing this week is making one small withdrawal. You are not asking anyone for a job. You are not begging. You are reminding good people that you exist and that you're available. That is a normal, human thing to do, and most of them will be glad you did. If you are getting something out of this, a like genuinely helps me reach more people who need to hear it. Before you message anyone, we have to fix the lie that you have no skills. 15 years in a real job is not nothing. It is a fortune you've stopped seeing because it became normal to you. Sit down with a coffee and write a list, but don't write job titles. Write problems you've solved, the time you untangled a reporting mess that 3 people had given up on, the vendor you fixed a relationship with, the new hire you trained who is now running a team, the spreadsheet everyone in your old office still secretly uses. Those are skills. And more than that, they are proof. Notice the patterns. Maybe you are the person who walks into chaos and builds a system. Maybe you are the one who can explain a complicated thing to a nervous client. Whatever keeps showing up, that is your offer in plain clothes. You don't need a fancy title for it yet. You just need to be able to say, in one sentence, the kind of problem you make go away. We'll use that sentence all week. Now open your phone for real. I want you to make a list of about 40 people. And I know that number sounds like a lot, so let me make it easy. Scroll your text messages and write down anyone you've actually talked to in the last 2 years. Do the same with your email and your contacts. Then your old work chat, your professional contacts online, even that group thread from the conference. Don't filter yet. Don't decide who is too important or too distant. Your brain will try to cross people off out of embarrassment. And that is exactly the instinct we are ignoring this week. 40 feels safer than you think, because you will not message all of them at once, and you will not say the same thing to each one. Some are close, some are warm, but faded. A few are people you barely know, but who know your work. All of them count. Once you have your list, you've done the hardest part. Because now, you are not staring at a blank internet. You are looking at actual humans who already like you. 40 names is a crowd, so let's give them an order. Make 3 small groups. The first pile is your inner circle, the 8 or 10 people who would genuinely take your call right now. Former managers who liked you, close colleagues, friends who run their own thing. The second pile is the warm middle, people you got along with but haven't spoken to in a while. The third pile is the looser edges, acquaintances and friends of friends who know you are good at what you do but aren't close. Here is the gentle trick. You are going to start with the second pile. The warm middle, not the inner circle. Why? Because those messages are lower stakes. If you fumble the wording, it doesn't cost you much, and you'll get your rhythm before you talk to the people who matter most. By the time you reach your inner circle on day 4 or 5, you'll sound natural instead of nervous. You'll have practiced being a person who is simply, calmly open for work. Day 1, you send 3 messages, and not one of them mentions that you need anything. This is the part people get wrong. They blast out a desperate paragraph about being laid off and looking for opportunities, and it makes the reader feel cornered. Instead, you reach out like a human who remembers them. Something like, "Hey Marcus, you popped into my head today because I still use that approach to client check-ins you taught me back at the firm. How have you been?" That's it. No ask. You are not setting a trap. You genuinely are reconnecting, and the warmth has to be real or skip that person. Send 3 of these a day for the first 2 days. Some won't reply, and that is completely fine. It is not a verdict on you. The ones who do reply are now in a conversation, and conversations are where everything actually happens. You are playing a slower, kinder game than the apply and pray crowd, and it works because it respects the other person. When someone writes back, you have a warm thread going. Now, on day 2 or 3 of that thread, you tell the truth simply, without the sad violin music. Here is the shape of it. After they ask how you are, you say, "Honestly, the role got cut a couple months ago, and it turned out to be the push I needed. I'm taking on a few clients directly now, helping companies with the messy onboarding stuff I used to do in-house. Notice three things. You named what happened without drama. You framed it as a choice you are leaning into, not a disaster that happened to you. And you said, in plain words, the problem you solve. You are not asking them for anything yet. You are just updating a friend. Most people respond to this with curiosity and a little admiration, because quietly betting on yourself at 40 is brave and they know it. Let them react. Don't rush to the ask. The next move is the one that does the real work, and it is almost embarrassingly simple. Here is the single most useful sentence in this whole video, so I'm going to say it slowly. You do not ask, do you have any work for me? That puts the person on the spot and makes them say no to protect themselves. Instead, you ask, who do you know who might need this? Read that again. Who do you know? It changes everything. Now you are not a person begging for a favor. You are a professional asking for a connection, and you've made them the helpful expert instead of the gatekeeper. People love to point you towards someone. It costs them nothing and makes them feel generous. So your line is something like, no pressure at all. But if anyone comes to mind who's drowning in this kind of thing, I'd love an introduction. Then you go quiet and let them think. Sometimes the answer is a name, and sometimes, more often than you'd expect, the person pauses and realizes that the someone who needs this is them. Let me make this concrete with one person. Call her Diane, 43, 15 years in operations at a mid-size logistics company, let go in a restructuring. She was convinced her only skill was knowing where the bodies were buried at one specific firm. She made her list of 40, started with the warm middle, and sent the no-ask reconnect notes. A former coworker named Priya wrote back within an hour. They caught up. Diane gave her honest update about taking on clients to fix broken onboarding processes, and then she asked the magic question, who do you know who might need this? Priya went quiet for a minute. Then she wrote, actually, that's literally the fire in my building right now. Can we talk Thursday? Diane did not have a website. She did not have a logo or a fancy proposal. She had a 15-minute call where she mostly listened. And by the end, Priya asked what it would cost to make the problem go away. Diane's first invoice came from a name that was in her phone the whole time. That is the entire mechanism. Nothing magic, just trust plus the right question. So someone says yes, let's talk, and now the fear changes shape. Now you're scared you'll get on the call and have nothing to sell. No package, no pricing, no slick pitch. Good news, you don't need any of that for the first conversation. Your only job on that call is to be curious. Ask them to walk you through the problem. What does it cost them right now, in time or money or stress? What have they already tried? Listen more than you talk, because the more they describe the mess, the more clearly you'll both see that you are the person to clean it up. Near the end, you simply say, I think I can help with this. Let me put together what that would look like and a price, and send it over tomorrow. Then you actually send a short note the next day, 2 or 3 sentences on what you'll do, and one number. That's a proposal. It does not need to be pretty. It needs to exist and arrive when you said it would, which already puts you ahead of most people. Let's talk about the money fear, because for you it's a specific one. You think you're too expensive, that nobody will pay your old salary's worth. So flip how you price it. Don't think about your hourly rate. Think about what the problem is worth to them. If a broken process is quietly costing a company a few $1,000s a month in wasted time, and these are illustrative numbers, not a promise, then a project fee of a couple $1,000s to fix it is an easy yes for them. You are not charging for your hours. You are charging for the hole you fill. For your first client, pick a number that feels slightly uncomfortable to say out loud and is still fair. And say it calmly without apologizing or over-explaining. If they say yes too fast, you priced low, and that is fine. It's your first one and you're buying a testimonial and your own proof that this works. The goal this week is not to get rich. It is to get one yes. So the voice in your head finally has to shut up. Let me lay the week out so you're not guessing. Day 1. Build your list of 40 and sort the 3 piles. Day 2 and 3. Send 3 reconnect messages a day to your warm middle. Pure connection, no asks. Day 4, as replies come in, give your honest update to the people who are clearly engaged. Day 5, start gently asking the magic question in threads that feel right, and reach out to your inner circle now that you've found your voice. Day 6, take any call someone offers, and just listen well. Day 7, send one short written proposal to anyone who showed real interest, and rest. Because you've earned it. Notice the pace. This is maybe 30 minutes a day, not a frantic grind. If by the way you get stuck on that very first step, figuring out which of your skills to actually lead with, there's a free 5-minute tool at Freelance that matches your background to the kind of work people pay for. It just gives you the words to start. The conversations are still yours to have. I want to leave you with the thing under all of this. Being laid off told you a story about yourself, that you were replaceable, that your skills had an expiration date, that 40 is somehow too late. That story is a lie the situation told you, not a fact. 15 years of solving real problems for real people does not evaporate because one company reorganized a chart. It is still in you, and it is worth money to someone who has that exact problem today. You don't have to become a different, louder, younger person to sell it. You just have to stop hiding that you're available and have a few honest conversations with people who already root for you. That is not hustle. That is not a brand. It is just you, reaching out like an adult and asking the one question that turns trust into work. You can send the first message today. It can be 3 sentences. Start there. Here's what I want you to actually remember. You are not unemployed and starting over. You are a skilled professional between clients, and your first one is already in your phone. This week is not about reinventing yourself. It's about 3 sentences sent to the right people and one good question. If the hardest part is naming the skill to lead with, go to Freelance Fit AI. Come and take the free 5-minute AI skills match. It looks at what you've actually done for 15 years and tells you, in plain language, the kind of work people are paying for right now. No sign-up marathon, no pitch, just clarity so your first message writes itself. You've got more to offer than you think. Go open your contacts and start. Here is your next step. Go to freelancefitai.com and get your free skills report.